Hi, I'm Luna, and in today's video we're installing FreeBSD on my old laptop. Now before we begin, I want to set a bit of a goal here, so I basically made a task list of what I want to do in these videos. These are some of the most easiest tasks. So for the basic tasks of these videos, I want to get KDE Plasma to work, and then we're going to do some things on it. We're going to install a browser, we're going to install Python dependencies and try and run a Python application. We're going to try and get a fully fledged IDE to work, such as IntelliJ IDEA, PyCharm, or something else. Visual Studio Code could count too. And the last one, we're going to play some game. In this case it's Doom, it could be anything else. So let's get started. Alright, let's boot our USB drive here. Here we go. So we're booting FreeBSD now. Welcome to the FreeBSD installer. So instead of the live system, we're going to install directly on the hard drive. We're going to go ahead and select the check keyboard. That's fine. Host name, we're going to choose old laptop. I don't know what I would enter here. And I'm going to install it using I've installed it using distribution sets. However, you can also install it using packages. I'll install using distribution sets because I've used this. I'm going to install the ports tree, and that's, I think, it. We're going to install it like this. We're going to use ZFS, the automatic option here. We're going to go ahead, and so you can see nothing's set up in this. We're going to have to set that up. I'll make a one disk setup, proceed with installation. Yes. So now that it has installed, we're going to enter in some details. You'll never guess my password. Please select the network interface. So hopefully, if I pick this first one, it's my Ethernet and no Wi-Fi is used. Okay, it is working. Okay. Europe, Czech Republic, yes. Date and time seems to be correct according to my other computer here. Might as well just start NTPD and PowerD. I think I'm gonna ignore all of this. Let's just continue. So it is time to add some users. So I'm going to add a user called user with the username user. For the login group, I'm going to use user, and for additional groups, we're going to enter in wheel. You may be wondering why, and this is going to be for a later thing we're going to configure. No, yes, no. Alright, so we have added a user, we have all these things pretty much set up. And so now what we're going to do is finish and reboot, and this should basically install or get us into a very simple system. So now we're booting FreeBSD with a very fast boot up basically, because now we're on an SSD. And we can log in as user, or we're going to log in as a root, because we need to set up some basic things, and that's work. So first thing I'll do is I'll install doas, because we're gonna go ahead and so we're also gonna bootstrap that. It is going to install the basic applications, or like the package manager, and we're gonna install doas basically. We can install doas with like this, and it tells us that we need to actually do some configuration setup, but from experience, if I cat user local etc doas.conf, there is already a configuration. If we log in as user, I think this should work. Let's do as pkg install kde, and if it works, you can see it worked, I think. Yes. So now we're gonna download kde. This is gonna take a while. Alright, now that we tested the ability to use doas, let's install the rest of the packages we'll need. So we'll need to install SSDDM so we can actually log in. We'll need xorg so we can actually start SDDM. And we have KDE installed, and that should be it. So now let's just install the rest of this. And now there is a few more things we need to do. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and use DOAS. Using sysrc, we're going to set dbus enable equal to yes. We're also going to use sysrc to enable SDDM. And we can also use sysrc to set SDDM's language. Now, the only last thing we need to do is reboot our system. Hopefully. And it worked. So now we should be able to just log in with our super secure password. See what we have here. So we have Plasma X11 and user session. Hopefully the performance is going to be better. Currently it's lagging as fuck. Alright, yeah, I've never heard the laptop being this loud before, and I think there's going to be a memory bottleneck for this, unless it's just really slow. It is very slowly but surely trying to render the settings, let's say, green. I want to change the theme to dark. So apparently I'm missing drivers. We're going to try and see if we can run KDE terminal, and we're going to see if we can actually do anything about this. I'm typing commands from memory because I'm trying to run commands. We're gonna see if this works, because I'll be waiting for a long time for it to render. And if we can install at least the drivers for this GPU, I'll be happy. So I've installed a lot of. I found a package called DRM-K mod, which apparently has Intel, NVIDIA, not NVIDIA, but Intel integrated graphics drivers. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull everything and install it, and then reboot and see if it fixes anything. So there is a few things we need to do. We need to give ourselves the video group. So I'm trying to load the KDE, the driver, to see if I can load it or not. Oh shit. Oh god. I don't think loading the driver set while the system is running is a good idea. We're probably gonna have to reboot right now. I wanna see if I can power the computer by using the power button. And if not, I'm just gonna kill it and reboot. Okay, I powered it off the normal way. So now let's try to power it back on. We need to run sysrc kld underscore list. And apparently append in i915kms. Let's hope that this actually types out and then we can reboot, and hopefully the drivers will be loaded finally. Alright, we have a KLD list set to i915kms. Let's just reboot. Oh shit! Oh shit, it loaded the driver. Alrighty, we're back. And would you look at that, I think this is actually smoother now. Assuming I can type the password still in, it's still very laggy. But hey, Wayland is available. Let's try and switch to that. See what happens if I log into a Wayland session. And oh shit! It is attempting to start a Wayland session of KDE Plasma. I just wonder how far it will get before the memory runs over something. Let's see how laggy it is now. It's still very laggy, which means I'm gonna try out X11. I think we froze entirely. I think we have way too low memory for it to actually work. Unless moving the mouse just speeds up the laptop. Let me try and log out and try and log in as a X11 session and see if that actually helps. I'm gonna try number 2 with X11. I think X11 is not going to be any better because it's very laggy even on the screen. I'm going to try do as PKG. Install btop. Wait, it works better. Well, I just wonder if the performance is caused by the low amount of memory inside of the system. In that case, we can try and install a simpler system. But no, it just, this entire thing is running terribly. Oh my god, the command clock eats up 100% of the CPU. We also seem to have 2 gigabytes of swaps of memory. It shouldn't be an issue, even if we exceed it. I'm just trying to see what the CPU usage is. The clock process is eating 100% of the CPU, which I don't know why that's happening. Alright, so it's been stuck like this forever. So unfortunately, well, it's probably my mistake. I wasn't able to install FreeBSD and get it to work. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and goodbye.